Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns and Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the spell Motivational Speech.
Talking them up.
Yeah, this is Braveheart.
Yeah, basically. This is another one out of the Acquisition Incorporated book, which Bob has strong feelings of. But I will just say, it's a book for some people. It brings a certain brand of feeling to the game, not necessarily power or changing play patterns a whole lot.
But this spell doesn't feel goofy at all. I mean, this feels like a legitimate spell.
I wouldn't go that far. This is goofy, I agree. I don't think this feels like a legitimate spell, but we'll get into that in a second. So, Motivational Speech takes a minute to cast, 60-foot range, verbal component lasts an hour. You choose 5 creatures, up to 5. For the duration, they get 5 temp HP, have advantage on wisdom saving throws, and if they are hit by an attack, they have advantage on the next attack it makes. When they lose temporary hit points granted by the spell ends for that creature. So basically, while they have temporary hit points, they have advantage on wisdom saving throws. The temporary hit points granted by the spell. They have advantage on wisdom saving throws, and when they are hit, the next attack they make has advantage. It's kind of convoluted, but the gist of it is, for the level spell, give everyone a bunch of HP. They can make advantage on attack roll, advantage on with save, sure, it's whatever. This is Bard Cleric.
All right, I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
All right, for the first time they get hit, if they get hit for more than those 5 temporary hit points, do they get the advantage or not?
I am under the impression the intention is that they do. Because the spell grants them advantage to the next attack roll they would make. I don't believe that is a portion of the magic of the spell subsisting. It's just now outside of the spell effect, they have this from another effect that occurred, right? Like, I think it's one separated from the spell's functionality of existing, is how I would rule it. Whether or not that's rules as written, I think is up for debate.
I mean, I'm looking at the rules right now. It says, once an affected creature loses the temporary hit points granted them by the spell ends for that creature.
Which means if they were to lose the HP from something like a saving throw, like a fireball, for example, they wouldn't ever get the advantage.
Okay.
If they are hit and take like 7 damage, that still will trigger the effect based on the order the spell's written, would be my guess. So it would say the spell sees it's taken a hit. It gets advantage on the next attack roll. Then the spell ends. No more wisdom saving throws, no more hit-based stuff.
If that's the case, then it changes my opinion on this one. I think it's castable. But
I think it's castable too. It's mediocre aid.
Yeah. That sounds like Walmart brand Kool-Aid.
That's what this feels like to me. And again, to be fair, a lot of, like I said, the acquisition spells, they don't have the objective of being new or powerful or groundbreaking. They're just supposed to address a tier, like a pillar of play that a character archetype, specifically the ones from that company, are embodying. This is the cleric of the group that's like the one responsible for giving the motivation, and this is, says a big old monologue out in front of the crowd or whatever. So Aid is a 2nd level spell that takes an action to cast. It affects up to 6 creatures, or it only affects up to 3 creatures, I'm sorry. So it does affect less creatures, but it gives them all 5 temp HP. And their hit point, it gives them 5 max HP. And max HP for over 8 hours means you can heal it back on short rest. It means you can heal it back from long rest. It means that there are some medium upsides to it that are marginally better than temp HP. And if you cast it as a 3rd level slot, they get 10 max HP. So if we compare the 3rd level casting of Aid to the 3rd level casting of Motivational Speech, you're like, okay, I have advantage on whiz saves until I get hit. And then if I get hit, it goes away almost always. Or more likely, you're either making 1 whiz save probably, or you're getting hit and this is going away and getting advantage on 1 attack roll. And I don't know if that's worth 5 HP. And the fact that we're comparing it to an upcast of a 2nd level spell already has me going, oh, I don't know if this is it.
For me to want this enough, I think those advantages on attack roll are going to really have to matter.
It's just advantage on 1 attack roll, though. We did just talk
about for 5 people.
Yeah, that's also a really good point. 5 people aren't, like, as weird as it sounds, everyone in the group isn't usually making attack rolls. Normally, about half the party's making attack rolls. The other half are forcing saving throws or doing other supplementary effects to things, right? Like a fireball. Wizards rarely are making attack rolls. Normally, a good wizard is throwing out save after save after save that do half damages. They're doing big impactful things like haste. They're doing other elements that impact a fight in ways that are off the axis of hitting things with attack rolls. Attack rolls are normally meant for the martial characters. So if you have 5 martial characters to give this to, okay, advantage on 5 attack rolls is decent. Is it better than knocking one creature prone?
What about a spell that requires an attack roll?
I mean, those exist. Those aren't, but most of the time, those aren't what I consider to be powerful. Like Ray of Sickness, I've never been excited to cast because I'm not the kind of player that likes to have a spell cast and have nothing occur, especially in the lower tiers. In the mid to upper tiers, there are fewer and fewer attack roll based spells that you can even think about casting. Like I think Disintegrate is technically an attack roll.
Well, this is when I think there's an argument for when you might want to use one of those.
Maybe. It has to, it's again this. Oh no, Disintegrate is also a dex save. So as we get into the higher and higher tiers, attack rolls kind of fade away from casters full stop. So if you're in a mainly martial party, that's a meaningful advantage. I don't love it. It's 5 temp HP that's contingent on all those effects means, again, any saves, just knock the HP off, no bonus attacks, no advantage on attack rolls given, full stop. If you're doing it on things like barbarians, if you're doing things on rogues, they probably have advantage on their next attack roll anyway, and this doesn't set them up to be like the next attack roll they make without advantage. It's just saying the next attack roll they make. So if you're going into a fight and your barbarian's attacking recklessly, if you're going into a fight and your bard is going in and out of stealth, if you're going into a fight and you're knocking creatures prone relatively frequently, advantage happens a lot, and they don't get, like, it doesn't necessarily behoove you all that much to set it up that well ahead of time outside of like fighters. Because on even characters like monks, they care about quantity of attacks more so than they care about one specific big attack hitting.
Yeah.
It leads me to this odd circumstance. Like, when is this good? When are those attack rolls consistently worth the slot? It might be that it's like, yeah, it's fine to say once you've engaged, that's when you get the advantage of the attack roll. Like throwing this on a paladin seems quite good. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna die on this hill. I was kind of just playing devil's advocate, but yeah, I'm being less and less enthused by it as the conversation goes on. But yeah, especially with aid and the duration temporary hit points, that feels like it's hard to justify using this one instead.
My other really big pain point with motivational speech is in the player's handbook, there's a feat called Inspiring Leader. And it lets you spend 10 minutes over a short rest to give everyone your level plus charisma mod temp HP, which is every short rest, no other resources required. It's not that amazing of a feat, but it's fine. I've had players take it, and that bonus temp HP for until your next rest, regardless of your next fight's within an hour of you casting it or not, they're getting the temp HP that is going to be more than motivational speech is getting, unless you're upcasting motivational speech, which you don't want to be upcasting motivational speech. I don't think
it's already painful at 3rd level.
Yeah. And it just leads me to be like, it's limited to bards and clerics. You can't have the fighter do the motivational speech. You can't have the paladin, and the people like leading the charge don't really get to do it. It's just the bard in the back is going like, yeah, team. That feels very bardic. But like the cleric's doing it? Really? The cleric that's like in the midline, it's not the paladin leading the charge. It's not even the barbarian. It's like the Force Sparta or the what's his face? The man with the blue paint on his face.
Braveheart.
Big legend. Yeah, Braveheart. It's not that character archetype. It's just Friar Tuck. Like, he's the one making the motivational speech.
Yeah.
I don't know. That one doesn't really line up to me. Feels like a flavor miss for a spell that's coming out of a book that's designed for the flavor of it. I don't see this this should be on the paladin spell list. It just should be, and it's not. I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Does the paladin care?
That's true. Paladin wouldn't cast this anyway, but I don't know. I don't think that the spell has anything really working for it to justify its existence. And those are the spells that annoy me the most, are the spells that I have to read and be like, oh my god, this is just worse aid. Why did they print this?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, no argument here. You got a rating?
This is probably a 2. I think this probably will have moments where you'll be like, yeah, the advantage on attack rolls is meaningful. This party composition works really well with motivational speech. the wisdom saves will come into play every once in a while, where you'll be like, in this social encounter, we're better against the fey creatures that are outside of combat. But that's delving into like very niche, you're preparing this for that encounter kind of territory that I don't like to justify spell ratings for, because those don't happen all that often. I think in your average adventuring day, though, you'll find a couple wisdom saving throws, and you'll find the advantage might be meaningful. And the temp HP is whatever. So sure, too.
Yeah, the advantage on attack rolls is what impresses me a little bit. But yeah, not enough for anything higher than a 2.
Yeah, this is not a spell to write home about. Like, I don't revel a bit like, oh my god, 8 is the most cracked spell ever, and this spell I don't think is better than 8.
All right. Well, that was Motivational Speech. Thank you, Sam, and thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns and Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.